Hello and welcome to the final video in Module 4 of UOIT's Information Literacy course. I'm Janet Simmons, and in this video we will explore how we critically evaluate information found on the Internet. Previously, we examined several research process models, and we also discovered how to narrow down a topic. As we discovered, searching the Internet for information is how we often research a topic. How do we evaluate the information once we find it? This video looks only at how we can evaluate online information, but much of this is also applicable to evaluating other types of resources. As always, we will begin with the analysis questions and end with the synthesis questions. There are two analysis questions for this video. In essence, these questions ask you to examine how you differentiate truth from fiction. The information problem arises when a discrepancy occurs when we find answers that confirm our biases, or we do not research further. We disregard information we do not agree with, or we fail to recognize our biases towards certain topics. Let's look at a few issues that people have a divided opinion on. First, what do we know or think we know about the anti-vaxxers movement? Knowing that both sides have a strong opinion, how could we begin our internet search and know we have found accurate and relevant information? Another example is climate change. Similar to the anti-vaxxing movement, there are two polarized sides. How is it possible for us as researchers to find valid and thorough material? Another interesting topic is using this search term in Google. How do we know what is or is not fake news? Researchers have created a criterion to help us evaluate information we find online. The criterion includes authority, accuracy, objectivity, currency, coverage, and purpose. If you do a quick search of the criterion, you will find many university libraries use it. In fact, doing this search illustrates the criterion in action. Let's quickly look at the criterion and start using it. I love the openness and opportunity the Internet gives us to share our thoughts, ideas, and information. Let's face it, we are all an expert at something, and we all have something to share. But sometimes we may share or post inaccurate information. That's why it's important to find out who creates content before we believe it or we post it. Authority helps us examine who or what organization created the information. Here are two example questions we need to ask when we find information. Questions such as these need to be answered so we can look deeper into the qualifications of the author or the organization. Okay, let's assume we find a website that we're satisfied with the organization's or the author's credentials. Even so, this doesn't mean the information is accurate. It's up to each of us to assess the information. These two questions are just the start of testing the accuracy. Do you have ideas about how you would go about verifying the information? We've all found many websites that have bias with information they present. Websites don't always announce they are presenting only one side of an issue. In fact, some sites are designed to persuade us to believe the information presented. We need to be aware of the following two questions whenever we're visiting a website, particularly if it's the first time we've been to the site. We live in an information-rich society. Websites and information can very quickly go out of date. For some people and topics, information currency isn't a problem, such as if we need a recipe for dinner tonight. Now, think about the three topics we used as examples at the beginning of this video. The anti-vaxxing example, along with climate change and fake news. If we ask these two questions when looking at the sites, how would our answers change the perception of the information and the websites? When we think of the word coverage, we could just think of the word links. Websites tend to link to other sites, which can help us gain a deeper understanding of the information. Some links may be to internal pages on the site or to external sites. But we must remember the author's expertise may be limited to a very specific area of a sector, so the author may present information that augments her or his knowledge. Again, it is up to us to assess the links and the material on the linked websites to help us gain a better understanding of the objectivity and accuracy of the sites and the information. The last criterion supports the purpose or goal of a website or information. The purpose or the goal of the website may not always be clear, but it should be. Digging deeper into a website may reveal its true purpose, but generally it should be clear what the goal of the website is. These two questions help us remain mindful of the website's objective and accuracy. Please refer to the links posted in our site. These links lead to sites that have more questions we can use and more information about applying these criteria. There are 2 synthesis questions for this video. Try to compare these criteria to the models we've examined in previous videos. How is this one more useful to you? Or perhaps, how are the other models more useful? Forming questions for each of these criteria will help us critically evaluate many contentious issues, such as the anti-vaxxing movement, and help us discern the difference between real news and fake news. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the tutorial.